Hello everybody, welcome back to Kat's Tiny Kitchen. We got a good one for you today. It's another cheesecake recipe, and I have to tell you, I ask Mike all the time, what do you want me to make? What do you want me to make? And he always goes, I don't know. So when he does send me something from Facebook that looks really good to him, I make it. So today we're making cinnamon roll cheesecake. And I've already got the softened cream cheese in the bowl, and I'm just going to give you the ingredients as we're going along. And I'm going to get myself a spatula here, because I want to get this cream cheese actually down a little further. And then to that, I'm going to add a half a cup of sugar. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn this on, and we want to get this mixed really, really well. So we're going to let this run on a low speed here for a little bit. And you want this one creamy. There can't be any lumps. So we'll let that mix for a little bit. Let me turn it up here. There we go. It's looking a little better, isn't it? Okay, so now that we've got it good and creamy, I'm going to shut it off here for a second. Where's my spatula? I'm going to drop the bowl so I can scrape the sides down, because this got pretty high, didn't it? Alright. And all that goodness going into this cheesecake. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add eggs to this. So I'm going to bring my bowl back up. We're going to add eggs to it. We're going to add 2 eggs, and I'm going to add one at a time. So we're going to add our first one. And you want to make sure that the egg is completely mixed in before you add the second one. And I'm cracking the second one now, and if you're wondering why I'm doing that, these are farm fresh eggs, and I just want to make sure that they're okay before I put them in. It's looking pretty good. And these eggs, these farm fresh eggs, I can't tell you, you can't beat them. The yolks are so vibrant. So much different than the ones you get in the store. So I'm going to add the second egg now. And we're going to get that mixed in. And while that's mixing, I'm also going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. It's looking pretty good. And now for our last ingredient, I'm going to add a half a cup of sour cream. And I'm going to stop this to do this. I don't know if you could see that. This tiny kitchen is kind of hard. So we'll get that in there. And rub that off on the beaters. I'm going to turn it on again and get this all well incorporated. And that's looking very, very promising. Getting mixed in. Turn it up a little bit. I'm not one for patience. Okay, that looks well incorporated, so I'm going to shut this off. And we're going to move on to this next step of the recipe. So if you give me a minute to get things set up, I'll be back and I'll show you that part. So for the next part of this recipe, in my bowl, to save a little bit of time, I've got 1 stick of melted butter. And to that, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, light brown sugar. And we're going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And then I want to get this all mixed and incorporated really good. So we're going to use the whisk. That'll help me. This mixed up really good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to set this aside also. And then we'll be right back for the crust part of the party. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back and I've got my spring-form pan oiled and I have my parchment paper in the bottom of it. I used oil today instead of like lard. To grease it down, you just use a neutral oil. I use vegetable oil, and I always use a parchment paper in the bottom of this because I don't want it to stick and I want to be able to get it off. So what we're going to do is I have cinnamon rolls, grand cinnamon rolls, and we're going to put those in the bottom of the pan. I just need to get them open. Somebody call them whack rolls. Because when you get the paper off the cinnamon roll thing, you whack it on the counter. And I got her popped. And it comes with frosting, and I'm going to set the frosting aside. And it looks like the lid came off of it, so pull this out of here so I can make sure it's ready to go for later. We'll take the lid off of there and put it on that. We're going to use that after it's all chilled. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to lay the cinnamon rolls out in the bottom of your pan. Like so. And then you're going to press them flat. I'm going to space them out here a little bit more. They're going to press them flat, and that's what I'm going to do now. Just press them out. See if you can't get it all to cover the pan. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a job for me. So if you give me a few minutes, folks, I'll get this pressed out and we'll come back and show you. I'm back, and as you can see, I've got the cinnamon rolls all pressed out in the bottom of the springform pan. So the next thing we're going to do is add our cream cheese mixture. And hopefully I can get this in here. Like I said before, a couple other videos, I don't have good hands right now. So we're going to dump the cream cheese in here. Cream cheese mixture, I should say, the cheesecake mixture. Let me see if I can get some of this stuff scraped down. There we go. And now I'm going to spread this out. Make sure I cover the bottom of the whole pan with it. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bang this on the counter a couple of times. Get the hands washed off here. If you bang it, it will help it to level itself out, make a lot of noise. So give me a second and I will be back with the final step. And we're back, and I have my The brown sugar mixture, I've got that here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it. I want to keep it away from, what is that? I want to keep it away from the edges, but I'm going to drop it in here. Different places. I got to keep stirring it because that brown sugar. There we go. There we go. There we go. We are going very slow here, but we'll get it here in a minute. This makes quite a bit of topping, so I'm going to stop there. And now what I'm going to do is take a knife and I'm going to try and keep it away from the edges of the pan. I'm just going to swirl it in here. Make a swirly. Make it kind of pretty, and I still got the side of the pan. So there we go. That's good enough. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake this in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes at 325 degrees. And once it comes out, I'll let it fully cool, and then this frosting that comes with the cinnamon rolls will be drizzled on the top of it after they're fully cooled, and then I'll throw them in the oven for about, refrigerator for about 4 hours after it's fully cooled. So let me get this in the oven and we'll be back to see what it looks like when it's done. I just took it out of the oven and it took about 35 minutes in the oven to bake. It doesn't look very pretty right now. And the directions said that it needs to be firm around the edges and jiggly in the middle, and that's what it was. And now all we have to do is let it cool. And then when it's completely cool, I'll bring you back so we can do the last step. So I'll see you in a few hours. Hang in there, folks. It is the next morning, and I let this bad boy sit out all night to cool because it was very late when I got it done. So now what I've got here is I've got the frosting from the cinnamon roll package, and I'm just going to pour this on top of it. I don't drizzle. I may be drizzling okay, but I don't know. This popped out of the springform pan like crazy. It worked perfectly. So let's go ahead and get drizzling. Or pouring, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm going to let this cool a little bit more. I don't like that. Take a knife and spread it. And make sure all that goodness gets on the whole thing. We'll let this frosting cool a little bit. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to get it chilled. And then all we got left, folks, is to taste it and take a picture for you. So I want to thank you all for coming along. I hope this is a recipe that you can use, and I will see you on the next video. God bless you all. Have one wonderful day.